Well, quiet quitting. It's a concept we're hearing more and more in recent months, affecting workplaces all across the country.
Yeah, in fact, a study done by global analytics firm Gallup found that quiet quitters make up about 50% of the U.S. workforce. So what is quiet quitting exactly? How can employers prevent it?
Great questions, and we bring in an expert to break it all down. Dr. Jim Harder, Gallup's chief scientist of workplace management and well-being, as well as the author of Is Quiet Quitting Real? Welcome. Good morning to you, Dr. Harder.
Great to meet you, Audrina and Ryan, and thanks for having me on.
We're glad to have you. We're going to start with the very obvious question. Exactly what is quiet quitting?
Quiet quitting isn't a new concept. It's a new terminology that people have been using more recently, but it's really showing up, doing the minimum required, and not much else. And I'd argue that that's not good for the worker. It's not good for the employer, and we're seeing in our data a growing kind of separation between worker and employer as this kind of pandemic started and people have been more remote working. And remote working can be a very good thing, but it requires really good management to make it work right. And I'd say it's a problem. It's about half the U.S. workforce right now, and there's another 18% now that we call loud quitters. So these are people who are actively disengaged at work, and that number's gone up.
Wow, what a shift that we're seeing in so many ways. So you mentioned that quiet quitting isn't a new concept. Gallup's been studying this for a while. What are some key takeaways in the research that you've discovered?
Well, we've seen drops in particular in terms of clarity of expectations. When people come to work, they're just less clear on what they're supposed to do. And that's a foundational element. When people are confused about what they're supposed to do, they're going to withdraw a bit. They're going to feel less credibility in terms of how they view their employer. Opportunities to learn and grow have dropped, so that separation has caused people to not feel like they're learning and growing as much. They feel less cared about, and they feel less connected to the mission or purpose of the organization. Those are all really important to performance. And so I'd really pin a lot of this on upskilling managers so they can have the right kind of conversations with employees on a regular basis, have at least one meaningful conversation every week with an employee, related to recognition and setting goals. And managers just are not as in touch with employees as they were before. The managers themselves are feeling more burnout, and managers are not much more engaged in the employees that they serve. So that's part of the solution, is thinking about how managers can have more fulfilling work themselves.
And Dr. Harder, work-life balance is so very important. You want to have, you don't want to be either one skewed in the wrong direction. But at one point, does, the emphasis on being compensated and making a living become more important than, having it your way, to have more time and to have a work situation set up that suits your taste?
Well, yeah, compensation, of course, is really important for employees, and they're changing jobs for it. An engaged employee needs significantly more compensation to leave than a disengaged employee. So when people are not engaged or actively disengaged, they're going to look elsewhere for jobs and look for other opportunities, particularly in the current labor market. You mentioned a really good point, Ryan, around well-being. And I think a lot of people are kind of shifting into this kind of quiet quitting phase because they don't see work-life balance. And managers, again, are in the best position to get to know each person's situation. People do need to have the right kind of balance between work and life. Some people like to split work and life, and some people like to blend it together. And if managers don't know that about the people they're managing, they're likely to burn them out. So I'd again say that managers are in the best position to figure that out for each person, and we need to give managers the right kind of skills to do that on a regular basis, particularly when we have more hybrid work now than we've ever had before in many jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, there's so much to get into. We're running out of time. So, Dr. Jim Harder, thank you so much for being with us, for sharing a little bit more about this. And if people want to learn more, I'm sure they can look you up in your book as well. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yep, quiet quitting is not going away. It doesn't sound like it, does it?